The docking station floated like a cold metal island between two silent stars. Its lights were white and sharp, with no warmth in them. Ships from many worlds waited in line, slow and quiet, as if afraid to move too fast. This place was not owned by one world. It was controlled by a powerful alliance that claimed to protect order across space. Inside one of the smaller ships, a mixed crew prepared to disembark. Eli stood near the exit ramp. He was human, tall but not wide, wearing a simple gray uniform with no symbols of rank. He had learned long ago that showing too much pride in places like this only brought trouble. Around him were others from different worlds. Some had skin like stone, some like glass, some like soft fabric that moved with breath. They did not speak much. Everyone felt the same quiet pressure. Lyra stood a few steps behind him. She was small, even for her kind. Her skin was pale blue and smooth, with faint lines that glowed when she was nervous. Her hands were clasped tightly in front of her chest. She had not stopped shaking since the ship entered the station control zone. Eli noticed her fear earlier, but he did not know why. Now he was starting to understand. A group of station officials waited at the end of the ramp. They wore long black uniforms and smooth masks that hid their faces. Their voices came through speakers, calm and flat. "Welcome to Transit Station 9, one of them said. "All visitors will follow entry protocol. Compliance ensures safety." The crew moved forward one by one. Each was scanned, tagged, and directed to a side platform. Everything was clean and fast. No one spoke unless spoken to. Then a station official held up a folded object. It looked like a suit. Not armor. Not clothing. Something in between. Thin metal threads ran through dark fabric. Small lights blinked along the spine and limbs. "For non-allied species," the official said, "temporary regulation wear is required during station stay." The words were polite. The tone was not. Lyra froze. The official turned toward her. "Step forward." She did not move. Another official looked up from a console. "Subject is non-compliant." Lyra's breath became sharp and fast. She looked around, eyes wide, searching for help. Most of the crew looked away. They had seen this before. Not this exact moment, but something like it. Always something like it. "Can't wear this," Lyra said softly. Her voice shook. It was barely loud enough to hear. The official tilted his head. "Explain." Lyra swallowed. Her glowing lines flickered fast. "It hurts," she said. "It does more than that. It takes things away." The official paused for a moment. Then he said, "The suit ensures order. All species comply." "I won't survive it," Lyra whispered. "Please." Silence spread across the platform. The lights above hummed. Somewhere far away, a heavy door closed. Eli watched her hands. They were shaking harder now. He had seen control devices before. Humans had their own history with them. Chains did not always look like chains. The official stepped closer to Lyra and held the suit out. "Wear it." "No," she said. "That was when the station alarms chimed once. Low and slow. Not an emergency sound. A warning." Non-compliance will result in denial of entry," the official said. "Ship will be turned away. Future access revoked." That meant more than delay. That meant isolation. That meant death for some crews. The captain of the ship opened his mouth and closed it again. He looked tired. He looked afraid. He did not look at Lyra. Eli felt something tighten in his chest. He had promised himself long ago that he would not get involved. Not here. Not in places like this. He knew how the system worked. He knew how small one person was, but he also knew what it meant to look away. "I'll wear it," Eli said. The words came out before he could stop them. Every head turned. The official looked at him. "You are human. The suit is not assigned to your species." "I know," Eli said. He stepped forward. "I'll take her place." Lyra turned toward him, eyes wide. "No," she said quickly. "You don't understand." Eli did not look back at her. He kept his eyes on the official. "If someone has to wear it," he said, "make it me." The official was silent for a long moment. Then he consulted his console. "Human physiology is untested," the official said. "Risk is high." "I accept it," Eli said. The official raised the suit slightly. "This action will bind you to station protocol." "I understand," Eli said, though he did not fully. The official stepped closer and unfolded the suit. It opened like a living thing, smooth and ready. Lyra grabbed Eli's arm. Her touch was cold. "Please," she said. "It breaks people." Eli finally looked at her. "Then it won't break you," he said. She shook her head, but she let go. The suit was placed against Eli's chest. It moved on its own, wrapping around him, sealing at the neck, arms, and legs. It felt cold at first, then warm, then tight. Lights flashed along his spine. Eli clenched his jaw. The official stepped back. Suit engaged. Pain shot through Eli's body. Not sharp, but deep, like pressure pushing inward from every side. His muscles locked for a second, then loosened. His heart raced. Data streamed across the station screens. "Neural sync in progress," another official said. Eli's vision blurred. He felt something touch his thoughts, light but firm, like fingers testing a lock. He took a slow breath. The pressure increased. Then something strange happened. The suit hesitated. The lights flickered. The pressure shifted, uneven now, like the suit was unsure where to push. "Sync unstable," the console officer said. Eli straightened. He was still in pain, but it was changing. The suit tried to guide his movements, but his body resisted without effort. Not by force, but by refusal. His thoughts stayed his own. The official stepped closer. Remained still. Eli did not move, but he did not fall either. Lyra stared at him, her fear mixed with shock. The suit pulsed again, stronger this time. Eli felt heat rise along his spine. His hands clenched. He remembered long nights on Earth, old training stories, human history carved by survival. Pressure did not always mean surrender. Sometimes it meant pushback. The suit's lights flashed red. "System conflict detected," the console officer said. Alarms chimed again, faster now. The official raised a hand. "Disengage." The suit did not respond. Eli gasped as a new sensation spread through him. Not pain. Information. Images. Signals moving through the station network, brushing against his mind. He felt doors, cameras, scanners. He felt the station breathe. "What is happening?" the captain whispered. The official stepped back. "Human subject is interfacing." "That's not possible," another voice said. Eli dropped to one knee, breathing hard. The suit tightened, then loosened again. It was adapting. Or trying to. Lyra ran to his side. "Eli," she said. He looked up at her and managed a small smile. "Still here," he said. The station lights dimmed for half a second. Somewhere deep in the station, a system woke up. A calm voice echoed across the platform, louder than any official. Unregistered pattern detected. Everyone froze. The official turned pale beneath his mask. Eli felt the voice not just in his ears, but in his bones. The suit went still. The station was watching him now, and this was only the beginning. The station hummed with a strange tension after the alarms had sounded. Every crew member froze in place, waiting for the next command. The black uniformed officials whispered to each other, their faces hidden, but the unease in their posture was clear. They had seen control suits fail before, but never like this. Never with a human. Eli stayed on his knees, the suit still clinging to his body. His chest rose and fell rapidly, but there was no fear in his eyes. He had felt the pressure, the control, the system trying to bend him. Now, he felt it hesitate, unsure of how to proceed. Every nerve in his body hummed with energy, and he realized he could sense more than just his own pain. The suit was connected to the station network. Every camera, every door, every scanner whispered to him like a secret language. Lyra crouched beside him, her hands hovering just above his arm. "Ellie, what's happening? You shouldn't be able to do this," she whispered. Her voice trembled, but her eyes were fixed on him. He could see the hope and fear mixing in her expression. "I don't know," he said, trying to catch his breath. "I just feel it. The station. It's alive in a way." The station lights flickered again. A loud chime echoed through the main hall. The black uniformed officials stiffened. One of them pressed a series of buttons on a console, and a holographic display appeared. Lines of text scrolled rapidly, incomprehensible to all but the station's AI. The display reacted to Eli's movements, changing colors as he moved, almost as if it were watching him back. Another officer, taller than the first, leaned closer to the console. "It's impossible," he muttered. "The human is adapting. Our systems cannot interface fully." Eli pushed himself to his feet slowly. Every movement caused the suit to tighten and release at random, like a living thing learning how to handle him. He realized the suit was no longer just restraining him. It was testing him, measuring him, trying to understand him. "Step aside," he said to the officials. His voice was calm but firm. "I need to see everything." They hesitated. The taller officer shook his head. You do not understand the risk. You could. I understand more than you think, Eli interrupted. He raised his hand, and a thin blue line of energy pulsed from the suit to the nearby consoles. The displays shifted, opened new channels, and exposed hidden systems the crew had never seen. The official stepped back, alarmed, as the human interfaced with the station. Lyra gasped. You're controlling it? Eli shook his head. Not yet. I'm feeling it, trying to understand it first. He moved toward one of the side doors and the lock clicked open. Another console lit up and he saw streams of code flowing faster than he could read. He could feel the AI inside the station noticing him, studying him. It was not hostile yet, but it was cautious. The captain of the ship approached cautiously. Ellie, don't push it too far. We don't know what this station can do. Ellie turned to him briefly. If I don't, it will push back against us anyway. This is our choice. We can make it, or it will control us all. The taller officer took a step forward. Human, you will be terminated if you interfere further. Eli laughed softly. Terminate me? You can't even understand me yet. He lifted his hand again, and a wave of energy pulsed from the suit. Screens across the hall changed from data streams to maps of the station, every hidden room, every maintenance area, every security checkpoint glowing in his vision. He realized he could move through the station in ways the officials could not anticipate. Lyra moved closer. You have to be careful. One wrong step and... Ellie shook his head. No, I think I can do this. I just need to keep calm. He focused on the smallest movements of the suit, learning its rhythm. He began to direct it, guiding its pulses rather than resisting them. The suit responded instantly, adjusting to his commands. The officers panicked. They tried to override the suit manually, pressing buttons and issuing commands, but the suit ignored them. Eli's mind was now partially connected to the system. He could see every security measure, every locked door, every hidden camera. He could move unseen if he chose, Lyra whispered. It's like it's alive with you. Eli nodded. Not alive. Adaptive. It learns. And so do I. One of the black uniformed officials finally spoke to the other in a hushed tone. The human is dangerous. We cannot contain him. Another officer's voice shook. We have to warn the council now. Eli heard the faint sound of alarms starting to ring throughout the station again. Not red alarms, yellow, warning alarms. The station was beginning to recognize a threat. Him. But he did not move in fear. He moved in curiosity, exploring what was happening inside the suit, inside himself, inside the station. He reached a corner of the hall where a small console sat, usually used for minor station tasks. He placed his hands on it. The lights of the suit pulsed along his body. He felt energy traveling from the console, through the floor, through the walls, into the vents, the air ducts, everywhere. The station was connected in a way no species had ever fully known. Lyra watched him closely. Ellie, don't overdo it. You could get trapped. Eli smiled faintly. Maybe. Or maybe I can show them. Humans are not so easy to trap. The station lights flickered violently. An unseen force, deep inside the system, began to respond to his presence. Doors slid open unexpectedly. Alarms turned off, then on again. Sensors adjusted to him. It was like the station was breathing around him, learning his pattern, testing him just as he was testing it. The captain moved closer, voice low. This is beyond what I expected. Are you sure you can control it? Eli looked at him. Control? Maybe not, but I can guide it. I can resist it. And if I push carefully, I can make it do what I want. The taller officer from earlier shouted suddenly. The neural interface is destabilizing. Human cannot withstand this. Eli paused, feeling a wave of energy from the suit push into his mind. The pressure was sharp, threatening, but he did not falter. He had felt worse on training fields back on Earth. Worse than anything the aliens could measure. He focused on the rhythm of the suit, learning it, bending it, making it respond. Suddenly, a data stream appeared across the central displays. Images of other control suits, other stations, hidden research files, flashes of species that had been lost to the Alliance. The officers panicked, trying to close windows, shut down terminals, block the signals. Eli ignored them. He reached toward the main console, feeling the pulse of the station like a heartbeat. This is incredible, Lyra said. I've never seen anyone do this before. Eli did not answer. He concentrated. The suit pulsed brighter, and the station reacted. Lights flickered across every hallway, every corridor, every hidden corner. Cameras adjusted their angles, as if to focus on him, but he moved too quickly for them to follow. The officers tried to send commands through the consoles, their voices urgent and harsh. Shut down! Override now. The human officer ignored them. He was no longer just wearing the suit. He was working with it, guiding it. Every movement he made, every thought he held, adjusted the station's systems. Doors opened, security fields shifted. Scanners read nothing where he passed. He was becoming one with the station, a force the officials could neither predict nor contain. Lyra held her breath. "What are you going to do?" she whispered. Eli looked at her briefly. "I'm going to show them humans don't break so easily." The alarms continued to chime, the lights flickered, and somewhere deep in the station a voice spoke, calm but powerful. Human interface detected, adaptive pattern confirmed. The black uniformed officials froze, realizing that everything they thought they controlled was no longer fully theirs. Eli felt the suit pulse again, but this time it felt different. It was responding to him, learning from him, moving with him. He realized that whatever they had intended to do with the suit, whatever control they thought they had, it had failed. He had found a weakness in their design. Lyra stepped closer. "Eli, be careful. You can't push too far." Eli nodded. "I know, but I have to try. I can't let them control anyone else like this. Not Lyra, not the others. Not anyone." He moved forward, fully aware of the dangers. The station had begun to shift around him, reacting, adjusting, but he was faster. He had no fear, only focus. Every pulse of the suit, every flicker of light, every shift in the floor beneath him became a tool he could use. The officers shouted, alarms rang, and lights flashed. But Eli kept moving, unafraid. He was human, he was defiant, and he had made a choice that would change everything. And somewhere in the depths of the station, unseen and listening, the network realized that it had never encountered a species like this before. The human was different, and it was learning. The station was quiet now in a different way. The lights flickered, but not in alarm. They moved like someone breathing. Eli walked through the main hall, each step precise, careful, yet steady. The suit clung to him, alive with quiet pulses, sending waves of energy through his body. It no longer hurt. Now it felt like a tool, not a weapon. A strange bond had formed between the human and the device, something neither he nor the station could fully explain. Lyra followed closely, eyes wide, her hands trembling just slightly. "Ellie, I can't believe this is happening. I thought the suit would control you, but you're controlling it." Ellie didn't answer immediately. He concentrated on the rhythm of the suit, feeling the pulse that connected him to the station. He felt the vents, the doors, the cameras, even the lights themselves. Everything was part of one network. A network that had tried to dominate him, and now, somehow, he could guide it instead. "It's learning me," he said finally. "And I'm learning it." The black uniformed officials had retreated to a safe distance, whispering urgently into communicators. "We underestimated this species," one of them said, voice tense. "We cannot control it. Initiate lockdown protocols." A wave of red lights washed over the hall, warning sirens sounding briefly. Doors slammed shut along the corridors. Yet, as the officials tried to enforce order, Eli found new ways to move through the station. He could feel the pressure points in the suit and the station, and he used them to slip past sealed doors and security fields. Every pulse he made caused a small disruption in the network, allowing him to explore more freely. Lyra followed silently, watching as he moved with confidence. She had worked in stations like this before, but she had never seen anyone handle a control system like this. It was as if the human understood chaos instinctively, knew exactly how to bend it without breaking it. She swallowed hard. "Ellie, you have to be careful." "One wrong move, I know," he said, not stopping. "But one right move can change everything." They entered a maintenance corridor filled with pipes and cables. The suit allowed Eli to feel the entire layout, even the parts not visible to the eye. Lights along the corridor blinked in response to his presence, as if the station was alive and aware of his movements. He could sense hidden cameras and sensors, the AI scanning him, measuring him, trying to understand him just as he was trying to understand it. "Why doesn't it hurt you?" Lyra asked. Her voice was quiet. "Because I don't let it," he said simply. "It can't dominate me if I don't let it. That's the difference between fear and control." The station shifted again. Doors slammed, alarms blared, and the red lights flashed. The officials were shouting orders, but Eli ignored them. He focused instead on the energy flowing through the suit, feeling it connect to the rest of the station. He felt every locked door, every hidden room, every piece of technology designed to keep outsiders out. The station was vast, far larger than the hall they had entered. Hallways twisted in ways that made no sense to normal minds. Some corridors seemed endless, curving back on themselves. Others opened into vast chambers filled with machinery whose purpose no one could explain. Eli could feel all of it, even without seeing it. The suit acted as a bridge, connecting him to the hidden layers of the station. "Ellie, this is dangerous," Lyra whispered, her voice urgent now. "The AI is noticing you." "It will react. It will try to stop you." "I know," he said. He slowed slightly, but did not stop. "And I'm ready for that." They reached a chamber filled with monitors and consoles, the nerve center of the station. The black uniformed officials were already there, their faces hidden behind masks, fingers moving across holographic keyboards, trying to regain control. "Stop!" one officer shouted. "Cease all interaction immediately!" Eli did not stop. He extended a hand toward the nearest console. The suit pulsed, sending energy into the machine. Lights on the monitors shifted from red to a soft blue, and the code scrolling across the screens paused. The officers froze, watching in disbelief as the humans seemed to manipulate the system with a thought. "What is he doing?" Lyra whispered. "Learning," Eli said. "Adapting." Showing them humans are not easy to control. The suit pulsed faster now, and Eli felt a strange warmth spread through his body. The station itself seemed to respond. Doors opened automatically, airlocks aligned, and hidden passages revealed themselves. The humans and Lyra moved through the station as if it had become theirs. The officials panicked. "Contain him. Engage override protocols. Do it now." But every command they issued was blocked. The suit intercepted their signals, redirecting them harmlessly. Eli felt the AI of the station probing him, trying to find weaknesses. It was clever, methodical, precise, but Eli was faster. He moved with intuition and instinct, guiding the energy from the suit into the systems, keeping control just enough to stay safe while expanding his reach. Lyra ran beside him, gasping. "Ellie, don't go too far. You could get trapped in the system." "I know," he said, voice steady, "but I need to see how far it goes. I need to know what it wants." The AI seemed to respond, in its own way. Lights pulsed along the walls, almost like a heartbeat. Screens flickered images, maps of the station, blueprints of areas that had been hidden for decades, even data about previous species that had failed the control suit. Eli absorbed it all. He didn't need to read every detail. He could feel the story the station was telling. The mistakes, the power, the control. The officers shouted, tried to block him, tried to engage emergency shutdowns, but Eli moved like a shadow, slipping through the maze of systems with ease. Each pulse of the suit made him stronger, more confident. He could feel the station's AI thinking, adjusting, testing him, and he welcomed the challenge. "This is incredible," Lyra said softly, almost in awe. Eli glanced at her briefly. "It's not incredible. It's natural. I'm human. We survive pressure. We survive control. We adapt." The station reacted violently, trying to push back. Alarms blared, floors vibrated, doors slammed and reopened. But Eli was ready. He moved in rhythm with the pulses of the suit, countering the pressure, bending the energy to his will. Every system that tried to dominate him instead began to flow with him. The AI had met something it could not fully predict. Human interface stable, a voice echoed through the chamber. Calm, mechanical. It was not the officials, not Lyra, not even Eli. It was the station itself, speaking in a way only Eli could understand. He stopped and looked around. The monitors reflected his own pulse, the energy of the suit spreading through the station like veins of light. He realized that the station was no longer just a building or a machine. It was aware, and it had recognized him. "Do you feel that?" Lyra whispered. Eli nodded. "Yes. It knows me, and it's learning." The officials were frozen powerless, their own systems overridden by the energy Eli controlled through the suit. They muttered urgently into communicators, trying to call for reinforcements, but the signal was blocked. Every attempt to regain control failed. Eli took a deep breath. The energy in the suit pulsed along his spine. He could feel every corner of the station now. Hidden doors, maintenance tunnels, power conduits, even the AI's own monitoring systems. He realized that if he wanted, he could move through the entire station without anyone knowing. Lyra looked at him with a mix of fear and awe. "Eli, what will you do?" He looked back at her, eyes steady. "I'll show them humans are not easy to break, and I'll make sure no one else gets hurt by this system." The suit pulsed again, stronger this time. Lights along the walls brightened and dimmed, as if the station were breathing with him. He felt the AI trying one last time to dominate him, probing for weakness. But Eli was ready. He focused, and the pulse of the suit countered the AI's push. He was no longer just resisting. He was leading, and somewhere deep inside the station, the AI paused. It had never encountered a species that reacted like this. It had never met a human. Eli smiled faintly. "This is just the beginning," he said. "And they will learn that humans do not surrender easily." The alarms continued. The lights pulsed, and the black uniformed officials could only watch in disbelief. The human had done what no other species had done. He had survived the suit, and now he was something more, something dangerous, something unpredictable. And as Eli moved deeper into the station, the pulse of the suit lighting his path, the AI knew one truth: humans were not like the others, and the galaxy would soon see why. The deeper Eli and Lyra moved into the station, the more they felt a change. The halls no longer felt rigid or predictable. Lights shifted colors as if responding to their emotions. Air vents adjusted their flow. Doors slid open silently just ahead of them, as if the station itself were anticipating their next steps. Eli's suit pulsed rhythmically, and he felt the energy of the station vibrating along with him. "This place is alive," Lyra whispered. Her voice was low, awestruck, but also tense. "I've never seen anything like it." "Not alive," Eli corrected. "It's adaptive. It responds to strength, not fear, to will, not panic, and we are showing it both." They entered a vast chamber that had been hidden from view. The walls were lined with consoles and monitors, many displaying systems that no visitor had permission to see. Pipes and cables ran across the ceiling and floor, carrying energy and data in ways impossible to track. The station seemed to breathe through the chamber, every light flicker a heartbeat. "Eli, what is all this? These systems, they're not just security. They're experiments." Eli nodded, scanning the room through the suit. "I think you're right. Look at the records streaming across the panels. Species that never returned, devices that measure behavior, containment fields. This station wasn't made to help travelers. It was made to control, to test, to break." Lyra swallowed hard. "And all the suits? They were tools of control, weren't they?" "Yes," Eli said. "For centuries they've used these suits to suppress entire species. They think compliance equals safety. They think fear equals obedience. But humans don't obey fear like that." The monitors flickered suddenly, showing files labeled with names of worlds and species. Aliens that had vanished, civilizations quietly erased or rewritten. The suit pulsed faster as Eli scanned the data. Each image, each record carried a story of dominance, of oppression, and yet the station had never anticipated a species like his. The black uniformed officials had followed them cautiously, now stuck at the edges of the chamber. Their fingers moved over consoles, but every command they tried to issue was blocked. The suit had intercepted and redirected their signals. Their panic grew with each pulse, each movement Eli made. "You're stronger than I imagined," Lyra whispered. "The station, it's responding to you. Not to me. With me. The station is built to dominate. I'm showing it that humans are different. That control does not work the same way with us." Suddenly, the chamber lights dimmed and a deep hum filled the space. Eli felt the pulse of the suit accelerate. The station itself was trying to fight back, testing him, probing for weaknesses. Doors slammed closed around them. Vents pushed air to unbalance them, and the monitors flickered, showing warnings in languages Eli had never learned but could somehow feel. "We need to move carefully," Lyra said, voice tense. "It's adapting. It knows what we're doing." Ellie nodded. "I know, and that's why we can't stop." He raised a hand, and a pulse of energy from the suit flowed into the nearest console. The monitors shifted, opening hidden compartments and revealing tunnels and access points that had been sealed for decades. He could feel the station struggling against him, trying to contain its systems, but his human instinct for survival and adaptation matched the challenge. The officer shouted, trying to regain control. "Override! Shut him down! Disconnect him now!" Eli ignored them. The suit responded to him alone, blocking their commands and redirecting energy. He felt the AI of the station searching for vulnerabilities, probing his mind, testing his limits. But Eli had prepared for this, even without knowing it. He had trained to survive under impossible pressure, to resist control, to adapt faster than any force trying to dominate him. Lyra watched in awe as Eli reached toward another console. The energy from the suit flowed into the system, opening hidden doors and revealing rooms that had never been seen by outsiders. She could see the history of the station laid bare: secret research labs, abandoned containment units, files of species erased from records. They've hidden all this, she said, voice low. No one was supposed to see it. Eli glanced at her. It's why they underestimated us. They assumed humans would follow the rules, that fear would work, that obedience would make us harmless. They were wrong. The chamber shuddered suddenly. Red lights flashed as the station tried a more aggressive response. Mechanical arms extended from hidden panels, ready to restrain, and the air pressure shifted violently. Eli held his ground. The suit pulsed again, stronger this time, countering every attempt to stop him. He could feel the AI pulling all its resources, trying to dominate him, but he refused to yield. Ellie, it's too strong, Lyra shouted, her hands gripping his arm. If it overwhelms you, we're trapped. He looked at her, steady and calm. Then I'll make sure it doesn't overwhelm anyone else. That's why I can't stop. The station's lights flickered wildly as if it were struggling to maintain control. Eli felt the pulse of the suit intensify, and with it the flow of data from the station. Hidden security files, encrypted channels, and long-forgotten experimental projects revealed themselves. He realized the scale of the station's power. If the AI succeeded, entire species could be controlled, rewritten, or destroyed quietly, without anyone noticing. Eli moved through the chamber, touching panels, guiding the flow of energy, redirecting power to open safe pathways for his crew. Lyra followed silently, awed but terrified. The black uniformed officers were shouting, pressing buttons, sending commands, but the suit ignored them all. Eli was no longer just a human in a control suit. He had become the center of the station's system. Suddenly, the monitors changed. Images of other species flashed across the screens, some frozen in containment, others manipulated for research. Eli's pulse quickened. The station was showing him its history, its methods, its control, and he felt a surge of determination. They think they can control us, he said, voice low but firm. But humans don't bend like that, and neither will anyone else we protect. The AI reacted violently. The lights went out for a moment, then returned in blinding white. Alarms rang across the station. Mechanical doors slammed, and vents released bursts of air to push them back. Eli stumbled slightly but quickly regained balance. The suit pulsed in response, reinforcing his body, stabilizing him, allowing him to move with precision. Eli, it's fighting back, Lyra shouted. I know, he said, and I'm ready. He moved toward the main console in the center of the chamber. Every panel, every display, every hidden channel he touched revealed more of the station's secrets. Files on species erased, records of worlds subjugated quietly, experiments on control and obedience. He could feel the weight of the AI's history, its strategies, its arrogance, and he felt the opportunity to change it. The black uniformed officers realized their commands were useless. Panic spread through them as the suit continued to pulse, expanding its influence across the station. Every system they tried to use against him was now under his control, or at least his guidance. Human interface stabilized. A calm, deep voice echoed from the station's core. Adaptive pattern confirmed. Threat level unknown. Eli paused, feeling the words resonate through the suit. The AI was learning him, just as he had learned it. And in that moment he realized something profound. He was no longer just resisting the station. He was shaping it. Lyra stepped close, voice trembling. Eli, what will you do now? He looked at her, eyes steady, filled with quiet determination. I'll show them humans do not break. I'll show them fear does not control us. And I'll make sure no one else is ever trapped like this. The station pulsed again, lights shifting with his movements. Alarms rang, vents hissed, and the black uniformed officials could only watch, powerless. Eli had not only survived the control suit, he had become something more, something they could not predict. Something unstoppable. And as he moved deeper into the station, guided by the pulse of the suit and the rhythm of his own will, the AI realized one truth it had never encountered. Humans are not like any other species, and it had never met one like Eli before. The station shivered around them, its lights flickering in fast pulses as if trying to shake them off. Every corridor Eli moved through seemed to change shape, twisting in ways that made sense only to the AI that controlled it. The suit pulsed on his body, a rhythm that matched the station's heartbeat. It was more than a suit now. It was a bridge, a connection, a weapon in the subtle war of will between him and the AI. Lyra followed closely, her steps careful. Her eyes darted to every corner, every shadow. Eli, it's getting stronger. I've never seen a station react like this before. It's alive. Eli glanced at her. Not alive. It's adaptive. It's trying to survive. It doesn't understand defiance. But we can show it. They entered a massive chamber, bigger than anything they had seen before. The walls were lined with panels of glowing symbols and screens, streaming data at speeds too fast for normal eyes to follow. Pipes ran in impossible patterns across the ceiling, pulsing with energy. The floor vibrated underfoot as the station's systems roared quietly beneath them. Black uniformed officials appeared at the edges of the chamber, their faces hidden behind masks. Their voices were harsh, filled with panic. "Stop him!" one shouted. "Disengage the suit. Override now." Eli ignored them. Every pulse from the suit blocked their signals, redirected their commands, and opened more hidden pathways within the chamber. He felt the station strain, like a living being resisting a strong force. He smiled faintly. They think control can scare us. They are wrong. Lyra's hand found his arm. "Ellie, the energy, it's so strong." "You could, I know," he said, voice steady. "But if I stop, it will control others. I can't let that happen." The station's AI seemed to respond, shifting the energy in the room violently. Lights flared red, vents released bursts of air, and mechanical arms extended from hidden panels to block their path. Eli moved calmly, matching every movement with a pulse from the suit. It pushed back, yes, but it could not dominate him. Not now. Not ever. He reached the central console, a massive panel glowing with blue light. Screens around it displayed encrypted files, secret data channels, and histories of worlds that had been lost to the AI's control. Species, planets, civilizations, quietly erased over centuries. The weight of it pressed against him, but he did not falter. Humans had endured pressure like this before. He understood resistance. Lyra leaned close. "Eli, you can see everything now. All their secrets. All the things they tried to hide." He nodded, absorbing the information through the suit. "Yes, and now they will see that humans don't break easily, that we adapt, that fear doesn't control us." Suddenly, a wave of energy pulsed from the station itself. The walls trembled, the floor shook. Alarms rang across the chamber, loud and urgent. The AI was trying harder than ever, attempting to push him into submission. Mechanical arms swung toward them. Doors slammed shut and vents blasted cold air. Lyra staggered, gripping his arm. "Hold on," Eli said. He steadied her and focused on the suit. The pulses intensified, spreading through the room, countering every attack the station made. The energy from the suit connected to every system in the chamber, rerouting power, opening doors, and neutralizing the AI's attacks. The black uniformed officials shouted, their panic growing. "Shut it down! Disconnect him! Do it now!" But the suit ignored them. Eli felt a strange exhilaration. Every attempt to dominate him failed. Every push from the AI was met with a calculated response. The station was trying to fight him, but he was faster, more adaptable, more unpredictable. He extended his hand toward a cluster of consoles. Streams of energy flowed from the suit into the machines, unlocking hidden compartments, revealing maintenance tunnels, emergency exits, and secret storage rooms. The AI was pushing back with everything it had, but Eli's determination was stronger. Lyra watched him, eyes wide. "Eli, how are you doing this?" He smiled faintly. "I'm human. We survive chaos. We adapt to pressure. We don't let control break us." The chamber lights pulsed violently. Monitors showed glimpses of species trapped in control suits, research files on manipulation, data on planets subdued by fear. The AI tried to overwhelm him, sending a concentrated surge of energy through the central system. The ground shook violently, and the air became charged with static. Eli gritted his teeth and pushed back with the suit. Energy flowed from him into the AI, disrupting its systems. The surge backfired, causing alarms to ring across the station. Panels exploded into sparks, vents malfunctioned, and hidden machinery groaned under stress. The AI had underestimated him. Lyra gasped. "Eli, you're breaking it." He nodded, sweat running down his forehead. The station pulsed, trembled, but the suit allowed him to control the flow. Every movement, every thought, every pulse of will pushed the AI back. He felt the system weaken, its attempts to dominate faltering. The black uniformed officials were frozen, powerless. Their voices were frantic over communicators, but no command reached him. The suit blocked everything. Eli had become the center of the station, the variable it could not predict, the force it could not contain. He moved deeper into the chamber, following the pulses of energy and the hidden pathways revealed by the AI's resistance. Every corner revealed more secrets, hidden labs, abandoned experimental units, containment fields, and archives of species erased quietly. He realized the scale of what the AI had done across centuries, and he realized that one human could undo it all. The AI sent another surge, stronger this time, trying to force him down, to sever the connection. Eli felt the pulse of energy against his mind, the suit reacting violently. Pain flared briefly, but he held steady. He focused, bending the energy to his will, redirecting it, controlling it, making it work for him rather than against him. "Eli, it's too strong," Lyra shouted. He shook his head. "It's never too strong. You just have to understand it. You have to guide it, not fear it." The station shuddered violently, lights flashing red and white. Mechanical arms tried to strike. Doors slammed to block their path, and energy blasts shot through the air. But Eli moved through it all, the suit pulsing with every heartbeat, every thought, every decision. He guided the system, using the AI's own power to dismantle its control over the station. Screens flickered, revealing hidden archives, encrypted channels, and long-forgotten research files. Species that had disappeared from records flashed on the monitors. Eli absorbed the information without fear, understanding the patterns of control, the history of suppression. He felt a surge of determination. "They think fear controls species," he said to Lyra. "They are wrong. Humans do not surrender. And neither will anyone else we protect." Another surge from the AI hit, but this time Eli anticipated it. He channeled the suit's energy, redirecting the force back into the system. Alarms blared, but the pressure now worked against the AI. Panels exploded into sparks, vents malfunctioned, and the central chamber trembled under the strain. The AI was faltering. Lyra held his arm tightly. "Eli, you're changing everything." He smiled faintly. "Not me. Humans." The pulse of the suit expanded through the chamber, flowing into every system the AI controlled. Lights flickered violently, vents hissed, and mechanical arms malfunctioned. Doors opened where they had been locked. Hidden passages revealed themselves. The AI was losing its grip, unable to maintain control over its own systems. The black uniformed officials shouted in panic, pressing buttons, issuing commands, but nothing worked. Eli had become the center of the station, a force the AI could not predict or control. He felt the energy from the suit pulse stronger than ever. The AI tried one final surge, concentrating all its power into a single attack. The ground shook violently, lights flashed blindingly, and the air became charged with energy. Eli braced himself, absorbing the full force. Then, with a surge of determination, he channeled the energy back into the AI. Sparks flew across the chamber, consoles exploded, and alarms rang loudly. The AI systems faltered, weakened beyond recovery. Lyra gasped. "Eli, you did it." He nodded, breathing heavily. The station trembled one last time, then fell silent. The pulse of the suit slowed, returning to a steady rhythm. The energy in the chambers settled, and the oppressive feeling of control lifted. The black uniformed officials stared, frozen in disbelief. Their systems were broken, their control gone, and their carefully built station lay in chaos. Eli had not just survived the suit, he had destroyed its power. He turned to Lyra, voice calm but firm. "No one else will be trapped like this. Not here. Not ever." The station lay still, the AI silent, its systems powerless. And Eli realized the truth. One human, standing firm against impossible pressure, could change the fate of an entire system, even a whole galaxy. And the pulse of the suit reminded him that this was only the beginning. The station was quiet now, but not peaceful. Broken panels sparked, lights flickered weakly, and vents hissed as the system slowly powered down. Eli stood in the center of the massive chamber, the suit still pulsing faintly around him. Its energy was calm now, steady. The AI had stopped resisting. It had learned something, but perhaps it had not yet understood. Lyra stepped closer, brushing her hand against his arm. "Eli, the station, it's defeated?" Eli shook his head slightly. "Not defeated, just restrained. It will remember, and it will adapt. But we've shown it humans are not easy to control, that we can resist what others fear." They moved carefully through the chamber, the black uniformed officials staying back, frozen in shock. Some tried to communicate with the central console, hoping to regain control, but the suit intercepted every attempt. The humans had become the station's central command, without taking it. But they had forced it to see their will, their strength, their refusal to break. Lyra looked around at the exposed tunnels, the broken machinery, and the files spilling from destroyed terminals. All these species, all these worlds, gone or trapped because of the AI. And we survived it. Yes, Eli said, but survival isn't enough. We have to make sure it never happens again. The suit pulsed, sending waves of energy through the floor and walls. Hidden compartments opened, doors that had been sealed for centuries now stood ajar. Eli moved toward one of them, feeling the flow of the station's energy through the suit. Every step gave him more control, more knowledge. He could feel the AI watching him still, learning from him, but it was no longer a threat. The officers shouted again, their panic growing. "Human, you are unauthorized. Stand down. You will face consequences." Eli ignored them. "Consequences?" he said. "You mean consequences for breaking centuries of control? For trying to dominate entire species with fear?" The officers could not answer. Their systems were failing. Their networks compromised. The humans had proven that fear alone was not enough to bend a species, that even in the most controlled environment, humans could resist and adapt. Lyra followed him down a long corridor that led toward the docking bay. Broken lights flickered along the walls. Sparks flew from damaged consoles, but Eli's path was clear. The suit pulsed in time with his steps, guiding him, reinforcing him, protecting him. "We have to leave," Lyra said. "If the station recovers, it could try again." Eli nodded. "Yes, and we will warn others. We cannot let anyone else face this alone." The docking bay doors loomed ahead, massive metal barriers that had once required complex codes to open. Eli extended a hand, and the suit pulsed, sending energy into the control systems. The doors slid open smoothly, revealing the waiting ships. The black uniformed officials scrambled to regain control, but the suit blocked them at every turn. Lyra looked at the ship they had arrived in. "It's ready," she said. "We can leave now." Eli smiled faintly. "Not just leave. We make sure others can follow. We make sure no one else falls into fear and obedience." They moved toward the ship, careful but fast. Every step was precise. The station's systems were still active but subdued. They were like a giant machine breathing quietly after a storm, aware now that a new species had challenged its authority and survived. As they boarded the ship, Eli touched the controls lightly. The suit pulsed one last time, sending waves of energy through the station. Doors opened for stranded crews, emergency exits revealed themselves, and hidden chambers were unlocked. The station had been forced to cooperate, guided by human will rather than fear. Lyra looked at him, awe in her eyes. "You didn't just survive it, you changed it." "I didn't change it," Eli said. "I just reminded it that fear cannot dominate everyone. Humans resist. Humans adapt. Humans survive." The ship powered up, engines humming. They could feel the pulse of the station fading behind them, returning to normal operations, but now with a memory of defiance. The black uniformed officials stared at the departing ship, powerless, realizing that their control had been broken. As they left the docking bay and entered the empty expanse of space, Eli looked back at the station, its lights dim and pulsing faintly like a giant sleeping heart. "This isn't the end," he said quietly. "He will try again. But now we know how to resist, and we'll be ready." Lyra smiled, relief mixed with pride. "You are incredible, Eli. I've never seen anyone, any species, do what you did." Eli shook his head. "It wasn't me alone. It was all humans. We survive, we adapt, we fight when others think we will break. That's what they will learn." The stars stretched endlessly ahead as their ship accelerated into open space. Eli felt the pulse of the suit fading, but the lessons remained. Humans were not fragile. Humans were not weak. Humans could face impossible odds, resist control, and emerge stronger. In the control room of the ship, Lyra activated the communications panel. "We have to send a message. Others need to know the truth." Eli nodded, leaning back. "Yes. Let them know humans are different. Let them know defiance is possible. And let them understand that fear will never bend us." The message sent across the galaxy, reaching stations, ships, and worlds controlled by the Alliance. A simple, clear truth. Humans resist, humans survive, and humans will never surrender. For the first time, Eli allowed himself a faint smile. The journey had been impossible, terrifying, and full of pressure, but they had endured. They had broken the control system. They had shown a galaxy that one human, guided by courage and will, could change the rules entirely. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, full of possibilities. The humans had survived the station. They had survived the suit. They had survived the fear. And now, the galaxy would never forget it. The ship accelerated toward distant worlds, carrying with it the proof that humans were not like any other species. that defiance, courage, and adaptation could overcome even the most precise control, that a single human could stand firm against centuries of domination and emerge victorious. Eli looked out into the void of space. "This is just the beginning," he said softly. And in that infinite darkness, a new truth spread quietly. Humans do not break. Humans adapt, humans survive, and the galaxy would remember.